Hello, welcome to your reading today. Trying to pick these up. So we're going to do a reading around moods. So you're like a mood check-in. How are you feeling? What can you do to alleviate some stress or to help with your current mood, let's say. So we've got this deck today. Not going to use the crystal cards. I decided to retire them for this particular reading, give them a break. We've actually got crystals out, so I'll introduce you to them once we've picked the actual piles. Okay, so let's see. I'll take this one. This one's really fallen. I've been lucky enough to get gifted a couple of new decks, so I'm using them both in today's reading. This is one of them. It is the Magical Spirit Oracle. Okay, just because there's a bit of light here, I just might move these up. Okay. Alright, let's take a look at your reading. The reason I thought we'll do this reading today is because we're coming into a season where it's very busy. We're trying to close up things. We're trying to tie off loose ends. We're trying to make sure we've got everything for the end of the year celebrations and that kind of stuff. So this is just to check in with yourself, make sure you're doing well. Okay, pile number 1. You have blessings and curses. This says psyche, self-love, and beauty. Here's a little message here of do not be ashamed, not of your thorns or of your flowers. Okay, and with this, for pile 1, also have the Ammonite. This is a fossilized Ammonite. Okay, pile number 2. You have the Protectress, strength, boundaries, and amulet. Has a message of your energy is valuable, protect it well. Interesting. Okay, and you've also got the Carnelian heart. All right, and for pile number 3, you have the Forbidden Forest with bravery, persistence, and redemption. It also says here, you are so brave to keep on going the way you do. Okay, so these are your piles. Oh, and also pile 3, you have the rose quartz coming through for your reading. So this is a chunk of rose quartz. Okay. Alright, so I'll leave you to pick your piles, pick whichever one calls to you, or if multiple do, feel free to look at those videos as well. The details will be in the description below, so you can jump straight to your video. What I'll do is I'll leave you here to give you some time to tap into your amazing intuition and really see which one is calling you today. Hello, pal number 1. Welcome to your reading today. So really interesting one that you've picked today. Blessings and curses. Isn't that this theme of life sometimes? There's always like whether it's ourselves or our family, you know, there's a blessing and a curse, or not necessarily, I wouldn't say curse. Curse is probably a harsh word. But where there's, you know, sometimes there's always love, right, towards some people. But it's like siblings, right? We have love towards them, but they know how to get on our nerves. We also know how to get on their nerves. So it's not like we're the, you know, we're the innocent ones, but you know, it's a vice versa type thing. And this is really touching on you though. You can see here this flower coming through and really almost like she's crying, but then she's also criticizing herself. So she's sad and then she's still judgmental on top of that. If this is how you're feeling or some kind of vibe, because we're doing a mood check. So this is a mood, right? as the kids say. So we've got psyche, self-love, and beauty. I really do like this. Don't be ashamed, not of your thorns or your flowers. And that's really true. You shouldn't be ashamed of really anything. We all make like choices, right? Choices that we later think, oh, that wasn't the best. But instead of judging it, learn from it, that kind of thing. Learn, grow from it. Or certain people that we picked as like thinking they would be a great partner or something like that, and it didn't turn out so well, right? Again, don't judge it, or don't judge ourselves, or like judge them even in a sense. It's about, what do we do from here? What do I do in this moment? What do I do now? It's an interesting one because we're talking about the now, the mood now as well, coming into the more festive season, which, and again, the festive season always conjures up like, displays, family celebration, all that kind of stuff. But it's also a lot of stress, right? There's a lot going on in your mind. You might be closing up stuff at work, or trying to rush things with work, or organize family, or whatever. There's many different things that you could be focusing on in this moment. Making sure you're present is going to be a big kind of like call back, and focusing on what you're doing. If you're like, oh no, I forgot something, and you rush down to the supermarket, drive safely. There's a lot of like people rushing around as well, and there's accidents could happen, mistakes could be made. Just make sure you're as well equipped or as well aware of what you're doing. I feel like that's really just an important message to come through. Okay, but seeing the beauty as well, there was something coming through when I saw this pile. I was already getting messages for it, and I was like, can I just get the cards out first before we get too far into it? However, it was coming through with, not judging your, this is not the best language, but your shortcomings, or don't just rely on your, what is it, like high quality or just good, easy laurels, I guess. Like the things that you're really good at, right? Those are great. But if you want to expand more, I feel like it's kind of coming through with, don't judge yourself. Try not to judge yourself as much. Appreciate the things you're working on, the challenges you go through as well, as best you can. Because I feel like that's really important. You're allowed to also cry about it. You're also, if you criticize yourself, again, don't criticize yourself for criticizing yourself, right? It's kind of like a roll-on effect. Just view it and be like, do I need to be this hard on myself? Do I need to be worrying about this, or is this like an actual good thing? I'm just feeling overwhelmed, right? Say how you feel to yourself. Be honest with yourself. I feel like that's really important. Okay, I'll try to get into your reading without reading it too early, but I honestly can't get into it without quickly reading. So some of these cards will come up reversed as well, and some of these cards have images which I'll have to cover. So just be mindful, I might pull the cards off camera. Okay. So pile 1, mood check. So this is a mood. Oh, I'll put this, where are we going to put you? Probably up here. Might not be able to see it. Just want to make space for your cards. But you also pick the Ammonite as well, which to me, I'm not sure about it like from a spiritual sense, but to me it just feels like history, like there's history, right? It's a really old creature that was living way back, right? Millions of years ago. So that's where some of this worry and stress could be coming from. This is also another deck that I was gifted, so thank you again for this one. This is the Divine Masters. It's another Carl Gray, and if you know Carl Gray and you've read if you have or seen The Keepers of the Light, it's very similar to that. But I feel like it's interesting because I'm reading it and I'm like, oh, this is very up to date. This is very like in this particular timeline. And when that was created, it was very in that particular timeline. So while not a lot has changed, the language and the flow has slightly changed. And it's not like, okay, that's old, that's no good. It's just more of like, it's just slightly, you can kind of feel the flow differently in the two decks. Created by the same person, different artist. But yeah, anyway, just thought that was interesting. So we'll get into your mood check before I get too carried away with stories. And the decks today are very erratic, I feel. Like the backs look, there's like a lot going on in these ones. And even this one here, the tarot deck. So this is kind of a tarot deck up here. This is Hieronymus Bosch. And it's an interesting one. I'll just say that. He was an artist from the 1500s, I believe. Maybe he was born in 1400s, but I know he was like the change of like a century. From 14 to 1500s he was around. So it's an old one. Obviously it's being recreated by a creator has got the images and been able to create a tarot deck. It's very different though. It's different for sure. Okay. So here are all your cards that we're going to read today. Mood check. Quite a lot of cards for a mood check. However, you know, with the reads, I do like, I'll say this is what it's going to be about, and it'll talk about whatever it feels like, right? The energy just flows however it pleases. Okay. So your first one here, you've got Alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone, Infinity, Destiny, and Magic. Oh, I love that. I like Destiny and Magic with beauty and self-love. It's just like a lot of like thoughts, right? These two eyes here, trying to have an eye on many different things. It's almost like the angel kind of, what do they call it? It's when you can be in multiple places. Omnipresence. It's like you're almost trying to be like omnipresent and do 1,000 different things. No wonder you need a break. Just look after yourself while you do this. I feel like you're going to do it anyway. So as much as you can, try to slow down where you can. Get things done in a timely manner. Look after yourself. Make sure you're doing some self-care practices, even if it's just like 5 minutes to breathe. That's how this is feeling. Also, I want to say, don't worry about the small things or worry about other people or what they might do. There's no, you know, you can't really control what other people are going to say, do, think, feel, right? So try not to put as much energy into that particular person or situation. Okay. You also have air element. Yeah, look at all this going on. There's a lot going on in your head. There's a lot going on. So you've got the air element with philosophy, discrimination, and empathy. Discrimination, excuse me. Discrimination in this particular meaning is talking about discernment or prudence, right? So I'm assuming you, look, this is honestly an assumption, but it feels like you are the one that either wants to or tries to organize things and wants things to just go as planned. I would say set your intentions, but how it happens, just let it flow. It's going to be fine. It's going to honestly be fine. The more you try to, you know, structure it too much, it gets too rigid, right? And it's like with anything that's far too rigid, it eventually breaks, and you don't want to break. Empathy for others, empathy for yourself. If you're carrying a lot of stuff, like a lot of like baggage, this might be a time to just sort through some of it as well. I don't actually know if that's true. I don't know if you want to sort through it because you're busy enough, but might want to just make sure you're not carrying something that's not yours. So if you're going out shopping and there's a lot of stressed people, I'm going to say that you're probably an empath in some sense, or have like high absorption of other people's energy. And it's not like you're taking it, you're just kind of in it, right? We're all in it. When we go outside, we're in the sun rays, the UV light, we're just in it. We don't, the sun's not trying to put stuff into us, and we're not trying to take stuff from the sun. It's just like, natural, or like in the water, it just flows through us in a sense in our cells, and that's why we get wrinkly hands and that kind of thing. It's feeling very that. So be mindful of what you're carrying and what you take home with you when you enter the door. Have an intention to release the day or something like that. That's really honestly how it's feeling. Okay. You also have Command Ashtar. Yeah, this leadership activation. This is like you're trying to organize maybe so many different things or so many people, or you put a lot on your plate and you want to get to these or many different things, right? Do what you can. Do what you can. That's it. You're not omnipresent, right? Not a omnipresent being where you can split yourself off and be in many different places all at once. Also, you don't want to be, because that's gonna be really stressful and a lot of pressure on your head, I want to say. All right, so Commander Ashtar, this talks about time to evolve, trust in your ability to guide others. Yes. While I say don't hold on to how everything should plan out coming up to the end of the year, also know that if anything shifts and change, you're able to, like, it's almost like you're good in a crisis or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but it feels like you're able to overcome. You might look at it and be like, no, but there's something in there that's like, yes, like you're able to, it's not like a crisis, right? If something doesn't always go perfectly to plan, it might be a skew. You just kind of like go with it and get back on track, right? So I feel like that's how it is. Trust in your ability, trust in yourself. Really nice card too. Like, this is a beautiful card. If you haven't seen Commander Ashtar, there were people that used to channel his energy in. There's like ET energy. I think it was back in the 80s or 90s. But anywho, that's where he comes from. So I guess you could see him as like an ascended master, or just a higher realm being, or someone like that, or some being like that. That's all I'm saying. That could even touch him with Starseed stuff. Starseed stuff has been like dropped off for like talking about it a lot for like a year, just in my kind of like realm, but recently it's been ramping back up. So, which is fine. Like maybe certain starseeds are waking up. If you've just woken up, hey, welcome to your mission, whatever that is. But that could be why this is coming through as well. Commander Ashtar is like starseed energy popping up for you. We'll see if anything else comes through. I don't want to just leave it like that. There's probably more there. Okay, this one looks okay. So you've got the Prince of Books, which is dominance, overcoming challenges, and patience. Yeah, look, again, if you're dealing with a lot of people, that kind of thing, you're going to be fine. You're going to overcome it. You're going to get through whatever is a challenge, right? Or whatever's heavy. Or whatever happens, right? Sometimes stuff just happens. You'll be fine. Be patient with yourself as well. Look after yourself, because I think when you look after yourself, you're better at being there for others, or doing the things that you actually want to do, right? You'll be much better in a better suit. That's why you go on a holiday and you come back and you're like refreshed and plow through work and get through things so much easier and communicate so much better. Like, it just seems to flow, because you've looked after yourself. Just in case if you're feeling like things aren't always going smoothly, look after yourself. And that's not going around telling everyone, I'm going to look after myself, I'm going to look after myself. Just look after yourself. You know what I mean? Just actually do the work. Do the not work, so to speak. Okay. You also have the King of Swords. This is an interesting one. Says, powerful person, a teacher, harsh lessons. Yeah, you are the person who is the leader for sure. There's a lot of like leadership qualities coming through, not just with this, but I kind of got it from here and here, like the person who wants to organize things or get things done, right? Because you can't, I don't know if this is true, but it's like the perception that you can't rely on other people, or the, give them an opportunity, especially if you're overwhelmed. If you're becoming burdened, then try to let some stuff slide. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if not, make sure it's things that aren't going to be a make or break on the event or situation or person, right? Powerful person, yeah. There's like an aspect of waking up here. You might be waking up in terms of your own presence of who you are, the presence of who you are. This is not really where I was going with this reading at the start. It was a mood check, but I knew once all the cards came, I was like, there's something extra here. But yeah, I'll get back to that. You also have the Wayfarer, the path ahead, adventure, and choices. Yeah, something's new. Something new is really opening up for you. I'll keep going. I'll try not to interrupt. Okay, so you have the Five of Pentacles. So this is more traditional tarot. You have the Hierophant. Interesting with the Hierophant, with a teacher, the King of Swords. This is not like the traditional King of Swords. This is like a Hieronymus Bosch, King of Swords. But it talks about here, powerful person, a teacher, harsh lessons. Teacher here with the Hierophant is like a teacher, like a spiritual teacher. And we were talking about rigidity before, so making sure that your boundaries aren't walls, your walls aren't like forts or safes, and you know, like you have good protection, I would say. Like when I say protection, I don't mean worrying about things coming in that you don't want, but it's more like the empath kind of scenario of, you know, knowing what is coming through and what's not yours. It's not like people are attacking you, but it feels like it can feel heavy when you're walking through a supermarket of like a bunch of people or something like that, or in a mall or shopping center, depending on where we are in the world, whatever it's called. Like, you know, it's just, it can feel like a lot, right? And so when you know why you're feeling certain things, you know to let it go because it's not yours to carry. It's not yours to be burdened by. This kind of feels like burdened, even though traditionally it's like being left out. There might be a shift for you with your own belief systems too, especially with, you know, the Prince of Books, kind of overcoming challenges. There's something here. There might be a new path. There's something coming through that they kind of want to say. It's almost like instead of following someone else's spiritual path, follow your own, have your own spiritual experiences. It's fine, it's okay to continue following that person or that belief system or whatever it is. But you're also someone who has miraculous encounters and can have your own spiritual path, because that's the whole point of spirituality. That just came through, so I wanted to say that. Don't know how that's going to help with mood, but something else to consider. I don't think this is a path that you have to focus on. It's just something that's coming through naturally over time. Okay, we've got the King of Wands too. Really interesting king, because he's kind of just wearing whatever he feels like. Like this is kind of how it is. And traditionally, from my point of view anyway, the king in this modern age is really about expressing yourself truly, being honest with who you are and what you're doing and how you're feeling. I feel like once you realize what you're carrying that's not yours, this destiny's popping up too. So this is supposed to happen. Maybe you've had some big changes this year, big shifts, and that's why your mood's kind of, I wouldn't say it's bad or like up or down or anything like that specifically. It's just like why you've been pushed and pulled or tested, right? You might feel tested by God or by people or by universe or whatever. There's like testing, and it's to really wake up this guy within you. You know, male or female, it's not really matter, but this kind of like energy of the King of Wands, who expresses himself and is who he is and does not just whatever he wants, but does what he feels is correct without getting advice. Does this make sense? It's like trusting self. That's what I wanted to say. Trusting self. There we go. This is an exciting reading, I feel. I know this is a mood check, but this whole year has been kind of like a mood for you, right? It has been a mood of what's right for me. This Philosopher's Stone, and they're here with the philosophy of air. It's like there's been a lot of things to see. The eye and the flower, the eye here, and also Commander Ashtar's third eye kind of like popping up. It's like there's been a lot of, you've seen a lot, or you've been witness to a lot of different things personally, but also in the world, and how you view them has started to shift, or you've been questioning things. Look, this is all fine. This is meant to happen in a sense. How I always see kind of, you know, destiny or like fate or whatever is like there's kind of like a goal here, and there's a bazillion kind of ways to get there, but it feels like they'll all eventually get there. You could go like through the shadows of your own kind of soul and that kind of stuff, and that's not good or bad, it just is. Or you could go in the high and light kind of aspects, or you could go find your own balance in between somewhere in there. There's no judgment to this, it's just your path, and you can pick that however you feel, however it feels right to you. See yourself as strength. There's two kings here. There's this King of Swords, and there's also the King of Wands and the Hierophant. There's a lot of masculine leadership energy, and this I feel is being looked at or reviewed in a sense. What does that mean exactly? There's something here. I want to read like more into your path. I don't feel like you're going to be left out. I feel like this is, yeah, I'm gonna get some more cards because I'm not sure. I want to see why I'm getting like waking up. Regardless, if we go back to mood, I feel like just looking after yourself, self-care is important, and I'm not just saying that blasely. I mean like actually give yourself some time to recognize what's going on in your mind. That's really important. Not to judge and not to hold on to a set kind of like path for even some things. Like if you book an appointment, don't be like it has to be this day or everything's ruined, right? It's just like if it changes, it changes. You just go put your energy somewhere else, do something different. Oh, it's like, oh no, you have some spare time now, you have to do self-care, right? You know, give yourself a break as well. Okay. And of course, feel how you feel. It's okay to be honest with how you feel. But I'm interested in this path, this spiritual path. I just want to see what this is about. It's like waking up in a sense. There's a balance between Earth and let's say heaven, or like the higher realms. There's like a balance there for you. This is also a need to be discerning again, kind of with the discrimination, be discerning of your energy. Some stuff is like, there's a lot, so it's good to settle it in, right? If you get like a huge amount of information just pop into your head about everything, you can go off on any direction. Let it settle to see, let it like sift through the stuff that's like not good or not necessary. Okay, yeah. Carrying a lot. There's a need for balance. There's carrying a lot. I feel like again, this is maybe your empathic abilities have been kind of like amplified a little bit, or just the season. This December amplifies it. So be mindful of your energy. Be kind to your body as well. Okay, let's grab one more. Yeah. Okay, so this is about the path. I feel like there's a rejigging of your energy coming into the new year. There's something on a spiritual kind of side, or your own belief systems that's being kind of like reviewed and balanced and looked at. And it's not like blasphemy or something like that. This is really about honestly just feeling what feels right, not being told what is right for you, you feeling it and you trusting yourself, because it's got a lot of leadership cards here. So you're getting a lot of like power, and that's fine. That's not to say anything. That's just to what is it? Alert you to that, or like make you aware of something that's already been inside you this whole time. But yeah, some of your feelings or mindsets might shift, and that's a good thing. I feel like it's going to help alleviate some of this imbalances, and the path ahead with this new adventure and choices is going to be less expected. Does this make sense? Like the expectations will feel lesser and lesser on you. Ones that we put on ourselves and ones that we feel are projected onto us from our family, society, because of our race, gender, beliefs, whatever, whatever that looks like to you, it's going to be personal to you. Whew, okay. It's interesting because even here it feels like the influences of like, he's almost like not paying attention to the guidance that's they're kind of guiding him to like look at certain things. So you might even start connecting a little bit more with your either internal guidance or your spirit guides or whatever you believe in. It's not for me to tell you what to believe. Interesting. Again, this is a good thing. Like it's all leading to a new kind of adventure and in a new way. This is also artistic and creation, right? This is fire. This is birthing of the new. So it looks really good. Like it looks exciting for the new year coming up as well, and whatever you got planned. But at the moment, it's like, cool, we'll look at that when we need to. I think you guys just really are like kind of excited about this because you've kind of woken up a little bit to something. Like when I say waking up, it's like just being aware, self-aware, having a look at everything around you. And even like this little flower created on her finger, it looks like birthing something, like creating something new. Well, that was a really interesting reading, pile number 1. Wasn't exactly what I thought. I thought we were doing sticking directly to mood, your current mood. There's a lot here, right? There's a lot here. So it's not like you have to jump off or cut something back. It's just to review it all, look at it in a non-judgmental way, like in a very real way, non-discriminatory way, and just decide what you want to keep, what do you want to change, and what do you want to release. That's it. Be mindful around a lot of people. They're not after you or anything like that, but the energy might just transfer into a you naturally being like a emotional sponge might take on some of that. So, wring your sponge out, so to speak. Hopefully this has really helped you, pile number 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I've enjoyed reading it. Take care of yourself, and yeah, I'll see you in the next reading. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. It's so interesting. The song I was getting in my head when I was like shuffling the cards for this pile was "Ring the Alarm" by Beyonce. You know that "I'll be damned if I see another chick on your arm" kind of thing. I don't think that necessarily means anything, but I really feel like it's that power of like deciding what you want. And this Protectress, like your energy is valuable. This feels like a really high kind of like being. Your like your soul. So even with this heart-shaped carnelian, there's like a lot of fire and passion in this. Like it's very motherly vibes, but almost like the motherly vibes when Mother Bear is like with her cubs, and a bigger male grizzly bear, let's say, comes along, and she's not gonna have it. Like, you know what I mean? She's gonna use all her force to get him away from her cubs. She's not backing down, kind of thing. So it's feeling like that kind of energy, which is really tense, right? It's like last resort kind of thing. So we'll have a look at what that means and why I'm getting that kind of like fiercely protective energy, because that energy is good, But if you're always in like fight or flight kind of mode, that can be draining. So that's where it's like your energy is valuable. Value not just yourself, but your energy as well. Okay, so I talked enough. We'll put these down here. I think you can see a little bit of it. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to pull one of these ones first, actually. Protect it well. What a magical card. Okay, so I don't get too caught up in that card. Let's take a look at your cards. This deck is the Divine, what is it called? Divine Masters. It really has deities, it has a couple of angels, Ascended Masters, ETs, has a lot of stuff. Has a lot of stuff in there. All right, we're talking about a mood check too, so I think the reading is going to go deeper into it than just like how you're feeling. I'm going to have a really good look into this reading today, into your cards. So some of these cards here might have pictures that I'll have to cover, so I will be flipping them like, you know, slightly off camera. That's just the reason why. And some of them might be also reversed, but I have intended that they all be read upright. Okay, one more card, please. Okay. I saw this card and it was like, we'll see. And then it was like, rip. I was like, okay, definitely that card. All right, let's take a look at your energy or your mood. Rather, you've got Hathor with light activation. This is really nice. This is protective energy as well. You could see this is like Empress card energy. Hathor is usually depicted as like a cow or like cattle in regards to like the animal associated with this goddess, because it's usually talking about abundance and you know, why is it coming up like that? It's like flourishing. Okay, flourishing. Sorry, I was like fluro, and I was like, no. What word are you saying? Flourishing energy, growth, that kind of thing. This card particularly talks about light activation, which you've already got enough fire here, but more light. Acceleration, brilliance, stand in your light. Yes. While having this protective energy is really important and great, there's always going to be a shadow side and a light side to protection, right? Sometimes protection is smothering, and sometimes like not enough protection is too loosely kind of like nonchalant. And I feel like trying to find like where you're at in any moment is really important. You have a good light, you have a good heart, you have like a whole lot of something here. I feel like it's like you've come in with skills, abilities. You might be, I don't want to say it like this, but it kind of comes through as like you might be the one that actually is the savior of the family or something. How do I put that into like a practical term? Savior of the family. It's like the person who's able to mitigate any nonsense or make sure good boundaries are established with certain people that are challenging, or just, you know, a lot of like making sure past family struggles and stuff like that are broken by you being here. You kind of just being you breaks old, what do you call it, past life kind of like family stuff. I don't know how to say it, but like this is just going to be an example, but it's kind of like let's say the, I don't know, woman in the family on one side of the family going back have always been really negative about something, negative about relationships or something like that. Like it's always been toxic, and it's like over and over again they've just done the same kind of thing, and it's almost like generation after generation they cycle with the same kind of issues or similar kind of issues, right? Even in different environments or whatever, it just keeps happening, and you're here to kind of break that or recognize it and alert people to it in a way that's healthy, right? It's not like going, you need to do this, you need to do that, because that's probably going to go down like a ball of lead or something. So that's just interesting. We're doing a mood check, but I'm getting a lot of stuff coming through. Okay. You also have Syrians with artistic integrity and honesty. This is it. This is you. Being honest and integrity is really key. Finding that line between telling someone like a really good information to help them make good decisions, right? Regardless if they take it or not taking it personally if they don't, but just being able to say it in a way that's actually helpful. Because sometimes people can say things in certain ways and it just comes across as judgmental and not actually helpful. It's like kind of rude, right? People are like, well, I just say what I say. Like, I tell it how it is kind of thing. And sometimes that's fine. And sometimes that's just being an ass. Right, so it's trying to find the balance between that, or trying to find what's actually going to help a situation. You might have been going over and over with a certain person, certain things, so maybe you don't say it in that way, or you don't say it at all. You just kind of let them go with their life and come back to the same situation, and then maybe then they'll be open to talking about it. Sometimes we just have to let people do their thing. It's really interesting, getting a lot of good energy though. Like good intentions, right? Good intentions. All right, so you got Nephilim with controversial, assessing new perspective. Yeah, trying to find a new way of seeing some of the stuff. Nephilim are interesting characters. They're supposed to be like the giants from the Bible, I believe. One of the Bible. I'm not too versed with religious texts, but just from what I know, they're like the giants. From memory, half angel and half human, something like that. But anywho, there is this energy of trying not to get into drama or start drama or something like that, worried about that. Try not to worry about the drama as well. That could happen from what you say. If you're saying it from the heart and without criticism, judgment, then that's really how it's going to be delivered, right? They can still take it in a way they want to take it, but they can't really, if they stop, calm down, breathe, and think about it, they'll be like, well, actually, you didn't say it like that, so I have nothing to really fight against. You just kind of leave it as is. It's interesting, but complicated, right? It's tricky. It's trying to find a really good balance. And if you don't always get that, don't judge yourself. You did your best. That's it. Okay. Right, might have to cover this one because we have a little bit of nudity. Okay, unfortunately I have to cover like a lot of it, and we got Plusheen here, or Pusheen, hello. But it says here, table of plenty. So it's got success, food, rewards, and capitalism. That's so funny coming into Christmas because it's all about kind of like buying and spending, and like how much do you love me is by how much you spend on me. I think we're all over that and don't really think like that, but it's a very, very that kind of season. So that's kind of giving me a giggle. But yeah, so there, oh gosh, no nudity on this channel, hopefully. Goodness. Okay, well, look, if it moves, it moves. I'll just deal with it. Success, food. So talking about celebration, making sure you're celebrating, but they're also under the table. It feels like they're kind of propping it up. So you might be seen as the person who keeps things stable. I don't know. That's just really how it's coming through. Kind of like the leader. Okay. Okay, this one isn't nudity, but slightly terrifying. So you also have Mistress of Terror. This talks about control, submission, feminine power. Interesting. Control and submission. Submission isn't feeling like just like not caring or letting go. There is this like, for some situations, some people, a need to release, like not try to helicopter or give advice even, because it's just falling on deaf ears, it feels like. And I feel like that's going to frustrate you, it's going to frustrate them. So be mindful of what you control, because there are things within your capability and control, right? What you say, what you do, how you react, but there's no control over what someone else says, what they do, how they act. You can only do what you can do. Try to alleviate the amount of pressure and build up of like fire within you, because it'll just erupt. Also, this is a terrifying image. Just saying. You also have the Baron of Coins. This is kind of cute. It says wasting money, loss of money, sham charity. I don't think this is necessarily about losing money. Again, I feel like they're talking about like, don't spend, try to avoid spending too much time or energy in the things that are just going to go around in circles that you've already tried to help. I feel like you have really, really good intentions and really high integrity too. It's like you'll be great with certain people, but when this is this season, I'm just assuming coming up to like family events and that kind of thing, it's going to be tough, right? So be mindful of where you're putting your energy, and also this is talking about money, where you're putting your money as well. If you're giving money with an expectation of how it gets spent, then it's not really charity, right? It's I expect this. Sometimes you just like, you can't really control that. Just like kind of like thank the money and give it, if that's what it is about, like when it's talking about gifts or talking about money itself. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing it from the heart, that's what you should take home with you, is like that feeling of I did what I felt was right in that moment. Interesting cards coming through. All right, so you have the Nine of Cups. Very, very nice. Yeah, talking about success, right in the center of your reading, things are going to go fine. Like, things will go quite well, I feel. This is just more like a lot of pressure and like a lot of thoughts. You know what? It's sometimes when you like go see family and you're so worked up, they'll say one little thing and you already start laying into them. And it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? It's just like, you just got here. Chill. Because we've worked it all up. We've thought about it so much times in our head. It's like we've almost had a conversation about this for the last, 72 hours, when really they weren't there. So just be mindful of that. That's pretty much it. That's really how this is feeling, mood-wise. Got Judgment. Yeah, I think you're kind of going through a lot of learning of what is within your capability and what is other people's responsibilities, right? What's your responsibility for you? What's your responsibility for others? And then what is their responsibility for themselves, and trying to find those boundaries. And I really like this coming through, this Judgment card, because it's not about judging, it's about understanding where you sit or where they sit, and how and what influence you can kind of like give. Because you can lead, like I always say this, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right? So take that with you. Yeah, good balance. This is coming through. This might even talk to money matters, just with the Baron of Coins and the Two of Pentacles. Don't overdo it. Don't feel like you have to overspend this holiday season. It's not really about the things, the material. It's about the time and energy and conversations and celebration, right? It's about the connections more so. And we're always told this, and we're like, sure, that's what the kids think. You know what I mean? They don't think like that, but they can do if you do. You know what I mean? They pick up. They're like sponges. They'll pick up on it. Yeah, but I do want to say, just coming back to this card, because I think we're kind of finished with this reading, honestly. But there's a lot of like wisdom and knowledge that you have, and that can be kind of frustrating if people don't listen. But that's kind of part of this lesson, I feel, that's coming up here, because while you might have a huge amount of knowledge and good advice, because you've been through what you've been through, right, in life, the challenges, the ups, the downs, all that, that does not mean that it would be probably in their best interest if other people would take note of it, but that doesn't mean they have to or will. So that's when it's like, hey, value your energy and time, because if you're putting it into something that's not birthing anything successful, and that's or even causing more harm, then your mood's going to be more explosive, I feel, or erratic. And you have good intentions. I feel like with the Hathor, stand in your light. Sometimes just being there, just being you is enough. Just being you is like enough in a situation. Don't have to say or do anything. Just being there helps. Just you being in the room helps with conversations, connections, and I don't know, nothing else? No, I was like, I couldn't think of the next thing. Nothing else came to my head, so I was like, nothing else to them? I was like, okay, well, you know, that kind of thing though. It really does just help. Looks like things will go quite well anyway in your season coming up, so if you're stressed, worried about that, just take heart that, you know, capitalism will be showing with Christmas. That's just kind of funny, but you know, good food, good success, things going through quite smoothly. I would say you don't have to control it, but it looks like whatever you do works, so you do you, right? You do you. Just be mindful of where your energy is being spent. That's really is how it's feeling. And even with the coins, it feels like energetically this, you know, the balance is always about trying to make sure that you're looking after self, but also looking after others and doing that kind of thing. You will be good at this. I feel like you'll be a master at this anyway. You might be worried about having to do that, but I feel like secretly there's like part of you that's like loves it, which is kind of funny, but you know, it's interesting. It's like, and then you might say yes or no right now, but I feel like part of you kind of works with that. If you're saying no and you know you just get put into those situations, doesn't feel good, have a review, a self-review of that, because if you really don't like it, then you don't have to keep doing it. You don't have to keep getting into those situations or being put there or feel like you're stuck in those situations. So just have a review of like, what am I doing? What is happening in life, right? Because that'll help pull you into where you are and what's happening right now. It's an interesting reading. I don't know necessarily what I need to say about mood check. I think it's just a lot of like thoughts and feelings about past, future events that have happened or coming up. That's really where your mind is, and all of it's talking to, look, it's going to be fine. Focus on what is important and where you put your energy. That's really how this reading is coming through to me. Okay, that was a really long reading. I know I blur on a lot, so hopefully that's okay. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions, of course, in the comments. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Definitely a powerful person. Got a lot of like good knowledge and energy to give out there. Just be mindful of how it's done and where you put it, and what's a black hole of like energy being put into, because that's going to be a harder thing to take with you moving forward. Anyway, thank you again. Take care of yourself. Have a good holiday season, and I'll see you next time. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So you have chosen the Forbidden Forest, which is a cool little name, and also the Rose Quartz. Gotta love Rose Quartz, right? I'm just gonna pop it up here. So this one says, you are so brave to keep going, to keep on going the way you do. It's also got bravery, persistence, and redemption. Interesting. This feels kind of like a little bit melancholy in a sense. Like there's a sense of melancholy there. I was thinking, you are so brave to keep going the way you do. Kind of almost sounds sarcastic in a sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, if you saw it in a movie, you would think that someone was being shady, but it doesn't feel shady. It's just like the words are kind of funny. Like a bit odd funny rather than haha funny. But anyway, yeah, there's like this feeling of melancholy, which just feels like it's been a road, right? It's been a journey. Let's just say that. definitely been a journey. So let's take a look at your cards before I get too caught up in that one card. These cards honestly get me trapped. Like, not trapped in a bad way, but just sucked in into the message, into the story of whatever is trying to come through. Yeah, these two. Yeah, these two. The imagery on the cards today, on the back of the cards, are quite... Oh, yeah. Are quite scattered, or quite kind of like... I wouldn't say scattered. They're kind of specific, like they're intended, but they're like wild. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense? Like they just have like a wild energy. Or an eccentric energy, that's probably what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, I guess so, this one. Yeah, this one. Okay. I was just looking at it, I was like, why is this one kind of funny to me? But no, it's that one. I just think it's... Well, we'll see what card it is. There's something interesting popping up with that card. Also, just while I was shuffling, one of these cards popped out, and it was the Galactic Council, which talks about, you know, meetings and communication and dealing with like differing opinions, and that's not a bad thing, right? That's how the world actually evolves and changes and grows, by differing points of views. But that doesn't make it easy. Alright, so let's take a look at your cards today. So this is a mood check. We're looking at a mood check. You've got Jesus coming through. I kind of love this Jesus. It's this beautiful aura, right? This amazing kind of like halo of light. Also swish here. But so Jesus is acts of service. When you serve, the universe serves you. So interesting. I'm not going to get into that yet, but I'm getting like a feeling of a teacher awakens, or just some kind of spark of helping. But it's interesting because this one's feeling like a need to look after yourself as well. But maybe that's how you do it, is by sharing your story. Oh my goodness. All right, so you've got the Flower of Life with inspiration, awe, and dreams. What a magical reading. It's kind of like, gives me like Pisces energy, like light, and the light attribute of a Pisces kind of energy. That flowy, dreamy, kind of magical, creative energy. Not fast moving, right? Not slow though, very flow. But that just because you go, like, just because there's flow in life doesn't mean it's easy still. Sometimes flow leads to challenges that we have to overcome for our kind of like soul's growth. It's interesting. Oh wow, another symbol. So you also have the pentagram with harmony, protection, and idealism. Okay, interesting. There's like an aspect of like, there is a real mood check here, but then there's like an aspect of like, I just wanted to get a reading. Like, I don't know, that's kind of feeling. Because I feel like your heart's in the right place with the stone coming through. Yeah, I still can't read it yet. I'm going to flip the cards. So some of these have naughty images, so I'm just going to flip them off camera. Okay, that's fine. We've got the Baron of Coins, wasting money, loss of money, and sham charity. That's interesting, because it looks like here, he's trying to save money, right? He's got like a little lock, he's got all the keys, but in there there's this like, I don't know, Karen looking gremlin. It looks like she's got a wig on, like a, you know, a bob wig. Not that that's all Karens have that, but you know, that's the stereotype kind of thing. So there's like a Karen here that's taking the money. Bloody Karen. Okay, this should be okay. So this is the Ace of Vessels. This is pouring out blessings, success, and satiety. Interesting. So there's a lot of like, everyone's getting something, or everyone's getting look, I feel like you're going to have good celebrations, that's for sure. There's good energy here, but more flow, right? The vessels are kind of like similar to the cups. in traditional tarot. This is a very like offshot tarot. It's a little weird, let's say. Oh, okay, no, it's fine. So you also had the King of Skates, which talks about lack of help, distractions, and self-centeredness. Goodness. Hopefully you're not going to have to deal with people like that. But maybe if you are going to family reunions or dealing with some people, there might be that kind of energy. It's kind of like a complicated relationship with a person. Like that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's made you who you are, but it's like kind of contributed to certain things you feel about yourself. Um, I don't know. We'll see. We also got the Three of Wands. Really nice here. King of Swords. Mm. King of Swords and King of Skates kind of feel similar. This also has a King of Swords card, but it's like a very different King of Swords. This King of Swords feels like, but this King of Skates kind of feels like this King of Swords in like a shadow aspect. This one is kind of mixed to me, how it's feeling. And some of this is kind of mixed. You've also got the Knight of Swords. There's a lot of swords here right at the end. Like a lot of sharp objects, right? Skates are kind of sharp. Swords obviously sharp. So I don't know if these feel like you in any sense. This feels like people you might be coming up to deal with. Work environment, potentially, home environment, family, extended family, that kind of stuff. It's like a lot of judgment or expectations or just like looking at you in a particular way. I want to say you're good. Like you're good. With I'm going to say this, you're good as you are. Like you're enough just as you are. That's very, 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 very clear to me in this reading. You're good. Jesus coming out, you're good. You're good. Now how you feel mood wise, it's like worrying about this kind of energy. Or judgment, I feel like is kind of the harsh thing here. I would say this, don't judge yourself, don't let yourself be judged by others. Ask yourself how you feel about what you do. Do you feel inspired? Do you feel creative? Do you feel, expanded? Because if it's talking about this wasting money, like you're doing something that feels like a waste, is this true? I want to know. I mean, I don't need to know, but I mean, like, I'm kind of, when I'm doing the reading, I'm like, I want to know. Do you feel like you're wasting your time, energy, money on what you do? So ask yourself, does it bring you joy, happiness, etc.? Ignore these people or this kind of energy. Ignore society's energy of like, oh yes, as a whatever, you should be doing this. You're this age, so you should be doing this. You should be here in this time of your life. You should be doing whatever you want, especially with this energy, because this is beautiful energy. And this melancholy is like, I don't feel like you have to, like, this Forbidden Forest, you're going through like something new. This is old energy. They're just living their lives in like old kind of like expected ways, right? You don't have to do your life in an expected way. You do you. I really want to say that you deserve to do things your way. This is the card of like, the guy or person standing up, looking at over the horizon to wait until the ship's coming, but they know when it's coming, right? So they know how much time they have to be in a particular spot before they need to go grab what they need to get. I'm going to say this, you're in a good position as a soul. It might have been, you might feel not always like that, or right now you're like, really? But yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. I think some of the celebrations will be fine. You'll be good. It's just like when certain people come into the picture with like criticisms or judgments, that's their own projections. That's not about you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That's not your issue. And I would say kind of like cut the cords in a sense of this connection. Now, I don't mean just like go, okay, and then, never talk to them again. I mean, like, cut the expectation kind of cords with it. I don't even think you need to say anything. I just think you need to make it very clear without words, in a sense. Just make it clear by how you feel. You can use words. I think it's probably better if you do, but I'm almost like, if it's not going to help you, why engage, right? Right next to the Ace of Vessels as well. It's like this. It's almost like getting drunk. Like, have fun. Do what you want. Have fun, but like if certain people get drunk, they start to say stuff that's not kosher or not cool, right? Not good. I don't know what to say about that. Like, you can't really control what they're going to do or say or have to deal with, but you don't have to be in a situation where you don't feel happy or safe. Jesus is on your side with this one, I feel like, with the protection and harmony. You're on a path to really finding your own balance within who you are if you haven't already done this. So why would these kind of curmudgeons, kind of like, energy, not saying they're bad people, it's just like, why would that energy be worth, you know, tapping into your good energy? Why would you want to let them do that? There's a lot here which I feel is really beautiful. This bravery and persistence. Yeah, you are so brave to keep doing the way you do. Yeah, you are. You are, because you're actually stepping beyond the expected. You're stepping beyond the I know it's sounding very hairy-fairy, but like just go with it. You're stepping beyond the what am I trying to say? You're stepping beyond the society's expectations or family expectations or even expectations of yourself. You're stepping into like almost a new dimension, so to speak. Like you're going through the portal. You're like, you found it, and you're like, but I don't know what it's going to be like. Well, it's got to be better than this. So jump in, go have a look, go explore, create. It's like going into a video game where you get to actually just free build, like on what's that game? I don't know, I can't think right now. My stomach is rumbling. It sounds really annoying, but I probably should eat after this reading. But Minecraft, and you're building like equipment or things. Like, use your imagination and just go create what you want in your life. Like, that's kind of how it feels. It's like going into a portal to manifest what exactly you want. Because whatever you're going to do, it's going to be for the highest good of you, other people, and also creating balance and harmony in life, right? But you have that possibility. The flower of life is the kind of symbol of everything that gets created. Is like stems from the flower of life, everything. So it's really interesting here. Look, if you're in a position where it's challenging at the moment, I feel like it's hard to say that's okay, just keep struggling, right? But it's like, there's something here which feels like this is fine for now. Things will keep coming through and getting better. Energy will flow through to you in time. That's kind of how it's feeling. This is a wild mood check, but it's just how it's feeling. I feel like celebrations will go fine. How you spend your energy there is up to you. But you're on kind of like your own world journey. I don't know what you're doing, but it's fun, and I think you should do it. If it feels right, right? Trust your intuition. Don't just go with whatever I say, but trust your intuition. You're on a journey of like, I don't know. I'm not sure. You'll figure it out and find out, but it looks exciting to me. And yeah, I feel like it'll be really good. But when you serve, the universe serves you. So when you give, the universe gives back to you. It's really like really believing that that is a true statement. And I feel like it really is for you. And in this moment, it's really true for you whenever you're getting this reading. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that there. What an interesting reading. Trust and believe in your heart because it is true. I know it sounds really corny, but I don't care. It's true. I can see it in the cards. Enjoy whatever is coming up in the future, because it's going to be so much more grand than what you've already kind of overcome or come through. It does feel really good. It's like true wealth, which is more than just coins and money. It's true wealth. And I think for some of you, I'm just kind of getting a glimpse of who's watching this. I don't know why. But even if you're quite young and you're coming to this stage, this is big. This is good for you. This is really good. Be creative. Okay, be the creative person you are. All right, I'm done. I'm going to stop looking into this because otherwise I'll go down and get stuck somewhere and keep living it. But thank you so much for letting me read for you, Pile 3. What another beautiful reading. This is a wild mood check, but look, I'm going to take whatever comes through. So again, thank you so much for being here. Take care of yourself. Have a good holiday season, and I'll see you next time.